It's the all-new J-Mac News Show.
You haven't heard the news until you've heard J-Mac.
On KSL News Radio.
Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. I am pretty sure it snowed last night, but I'm looking out the window here at Broadcast House. There's no snow. There's some in the mountains, but, I mean, it looks like it did 2 days ago. Man, that was quick. Anyway, hopefully you were safe on the roads today. We're going to continue to keep you up to date on the weather. And again, thank you for joining us as we start off the day with the news attack.
This is the J-Mac News Attack.
Today's news attack, somewhat of a follow-up to our discussion yesterday. Remember, we played you the pilot of a United Airlines flight who had to lecture his passengers on the plane to be civil with each other, even when they have political disagreements. Well, then we get this report about bad behavior on airplanes. It is becoming an epidemic. My 3 takeaways about this growing problem. If I'm hitting the button, here we go. There we go.
Number 3.
Well, first of all, here are the numbers. 14% increase in incidents reported year over year. 14% of bad behavior increases on airlines. That means you have a 1 in 1,200 chance that you are going to encounter drunk or disruptive passengers on your flight. The majority of incidents noted involved verbal abuse and failure to follow lawful crew instructions. Why in the world is this happening? Who's to blame? Is it the airlines? Is it the passengers? Probably some of both. Let's dive into it a little bit more.
Number 2.
Well, we shared with you yesterday the story of 2 passengers getting in a little spat on an airline. The pilot found out about it. It was over politics. One woman in tears because of comments from another passenger. The pilot had to be the voice of reason. And he came on the PA and reminded everybody to be adults here.
I understand everybody has their opinions. That's fine. If you support him, great. If you don't, I understand. However, we're out here to go to Puerto Vallarta. We're supposed to be having a good time. And what I do ask is that as people, we have the common decency to respect each other's decisions.
The common decency to respect each other's decisions. Yes, even on an airplane. If you are traveling over the holidays and it looks like Thanksgiving travel both in the air and on the roads is going to be record-setting, it means that you have the possibility, the potential that you're going to run into an unruly passenger, or that you yourself, even though you're not planning it, will be that unruly passenger. Why is this happening? Not good.
And J-Mac News Attack. Takeaway number 1.
Well, I think it's happening for several reasons. First of all, bad behavior on a plane. I think the airlines do have some blame for this. You don't get a feeling on an airplane anymore that you really receive anything more than just the tiniest amount of space for your rear end, the tiniest tray for your computer, the tiniest little bag of peanuts, and it just feels like things are getting more and more difficult. And then you get the baggage fees on top of that, which means everybody's going to cram everything they can into an overhead compartment. Then you run out of space in the overhead compartments. Then the person you're sitting next to is my size, so that means that 42% of my body is touching 32% of yours. I mean, it just goes on and on. But I do think that there is a much larger problem than that, and that is that we seem to be more and more interested in ourselves above the happiness, safety, security, peacefulness, privacy of anyone else around us. And that the moment we don't get what we think that we deserve, we begin to vocalize our discontent, and we don't care who it's going to affect as long as we get what we want. The society of me seems to be growing. We see it on the roads with road rage. We see it on the airlines with bad behavior. We see it in lines at the grocery store. It is a growing problem that needs to be talked about and needs to be addressed so that we don't have to add to this speech, right? You're going to see it now. Here's your mask. If your mask comes down, don't panic. Put it on yourself, then put it on the children. Here are the exits, right? And by the way, have common respect and decency for other people's opinions. It's going to have to be in the flight safety video because we all need a reminder about what it is to have common decency as members of this thing we call society.
The J-Mac News Attack.